Kentucky Motor Speedway, not too far from the home of the Kentucky Derby. However, tonight we favor a different kind of horsepower as we welcome you to round one of the Indy World Racing League, the Bluegrass 150. Welcoming you guys into the commentary box, it's Jackson Lambros who will be with you for the opening two rounds here of the Indy Racing World Series presented by Rogue Energy on Super Stadium TV. Here's everything you need to know for this opening round. A handful of new faces, plenty of returning faces, but let's look really quickly at everything you need to know about going on, as we haven't had a race there since 2001. India hasn't been there since about then as well. Tom Schechter holding the overall record. So we return back to the Bluegrass State for a 100-lap race. Everything you need to know about that, by the way. Like, here's a couple things you guys can look out for. 100 laps. Look at that fuel window. Opens just before and after that halfway point. A one-stopper is absolutely possible, but it's going to take a little bit of fuel save, a little bit of tire save. Not impossible, but certainly can be done. Want to actually keep in mind as well 2-lap quali, as is normal for Indy Racing. Lucky dog rules are in effect because we want to have fun here. We don't want people being a lap down. Want everyone always in a fight. Only been here once before in Season 2. Derek Booker is the defending winner of that race. Let's go, by the way, to your starting lineup for the remainder of the season. Again, couple of returning names, returning championship, couple of returning champions, I should say. Erik Richardson, Derek Booker, and Ian Miller. Couple new guys as well. Maximus Molina, Carter Toole, Matthew Faust, Ethan Flanagan, all brand new to the Indy Racing World Series. On top of that, John Miles, who, by the way, is only going to be here for the opening round and for the, not quite the Indy 500, but the 250 in a couple weeks' time. That will be the only two, though, for Miles. That's your stage set, though, for the Bluegrass 150. Take a break for a little bit. Come back when they get them racked up for the real thing. Stay with us. Cars going to the grid here. Field starting to get set as we welcome you back in for the Bluegrass 150. Again, Jackson Lambros with you as we are starting to get lined up here for this 100-mile event, or excuse me, 100-lap event. We go down trackside. Here's your starting grid for the time being. Would like to also remind you to join Erik and DJ for their next podcast this Friday. I'd imagine talking about upcoming Daytona 500 reflections on the Clash. Always a good listen. Yours truly might pop in sometime as well. Here's your starting grid then. Lucas Pontarelli back on the front row. He'll start inside Maxi Molina. After that, Matthew Faust starting third. Erik Richardson fourth. Mark Fish is fifth. Derek Booker is sixth. John Miles is in seventh. Greg Hammond is in eighth. Couple of cars further back, it's DJ back in ninth. Ian Miller 10th. Bill Millfield 11th. And rounding out the field is Bill Coley the second. So again, when it comes to strategy here, it's not impossible to do one stop. It's going to take a little bit of stretch in fuel. Definitely a little bit more of a stretch in tires. A lot of strategy options here as we're watching someone go in and out further back there. But plenty of options. 2 and 3 stops, certainly an option as well. Especially when you take into consideration everybody bunched up here at the start. Definitely chances of a yellow flag early on. Only 13 cars, but chaos can certainly happen. Pace car runs off. It's a new season. As we work our way, let's ride on board then for the start. We're racing here at Kentucky. Good start further back here as Mark Fish already works his way to the inside to dig on that Mach 5 machine. I believe that's Derek Booker, who's very low. Further up, Pontarelli still holds the lead, but Faust challenges hard. So too does Maxi Molina. Trouble further back. Already we might see a yellow. I believe it is Bill Coley III. It isn't. He got involved as well. But already Mark Fish in that V-carb machine, the 85, has gotten issues. No yellow yet. Pontarelli's going to go to the inside here for the lead. Can't win on the first lap. But Mark Fish has certainly lost it. Faust wants to lead early, though. He'll take a big dive to the inside here out of 4. Side by side. If you've seen any Indy racing at Fontana, at Las Vegas, it's very much that bit of drafting action. Not quite what you would see if we're doing some bonsai racing at, say, Daytona or Talladega, but certainly a little bit of that pack racing of old that we saw in the 2011 age, at the end of the Aero Kit age. Definitely some good racing. Some tactical racing, shall we say. Faust and Pontarelli continue to go at it. Molina with a seat at the table. Erik Richardson slowly trying to get into the conversation as well. On board here with Pontarelli as he continues to fend off Faust. Further back now, Faust has got a really big drop back. It's Molina in front. Faust just to the outside there. Trouble. Almost contact between them. Faust goes up into the wall. I'm not sure if there was damage there. That's going to get a really good opportunity, though, to that American Legion car. As now Max Molina goes to the front. Pontarelli going to drop back there, stacking up big time behind here. Highline starting to come into work here. Was talking to Erik Richardson at the start, and he said, the slickness of this track can be such an issue, but you're able to kind of rely on the weather to make it grip in as the day goes on, but right now we're certainly in that greasiest of eras for this track to groove in, and that was trouble further back. One of the cars, I want to say that was Ian Miller, who went out. We've got a yellow flag here, as major trouble further back. It's John Miles, who might have just lost it on his own there. See if we can get a replay for you guys. Go a little bit further back here. This Black Rifle coffee machine looks like it might have just gotten loose here out of going down the backstretch on the exit of 2. And already we are 2 cars down. So Molina holds on to the lead. Top 3 have kind of stayed the same so far. Certainly in that point too early in the race to go to pit row, unless you want to be risky and maybe try and get it done early. You're locking yourself in absolutely for a 2-stopper at that point. As we do have a couple of takers to pit row here. Bill Molefield, DJ Fluck, Bill Coley, who I believe is getting that car worked on right now. So that will promote Ian Miller up into 7th in that chrome Aero McLaren car. Great looking car from Derek Booker, your defending winner. Speed Racer Mach 5 look going on there. Greg Hammond in the DNS filters. That's back when Romain Grosjean was running with Andretti Autosport, one of the part-time liveries off of the DHL colors. Still a couple more laps of green to go here. Pontarelli having a little bit of netcode issues there. Apologies for the audio issues there. Looks like we just got that back up. So Molina, Pontarelli, Faust, Richardson, Hammond, your top 5. Going to be interesting to see if any of these guys who already went to pit row are going to be able to benefit from that new rubber. DJ Fluck, Bill Molefield, Bill Coley. Not entirely sure if it's early enough to have that in effect, but we'll see here, especially as this run goes on. Coley and Miles not entirely out of it. Fish has continued 2 laps down, but both of those, both the 31 and the 54, remain in pit lane for service. So we'll have to see. Great start already, though, for rookie Maximus Molina. Already the best of the rookies so far. Carter Toole already running into his own issues. Still haven't seen a lot of the other full-time guys quite yet. Carter Toole not in yet. Matthew Faust, Ethan Flanagan, we're still to see here. Still absolutely anybody's race, but it so far is shown to be Molina, Pontarelli, and Faust as the strongest in running. Pace car back in, 10 laps down, 90 to go. Is a little bit of reshuffling up there from Derek as they continue to work themselves back into order.
Green flag,
into the Geico restart zone. Let's get back to it. Good start from Molina. Puts a healthy gap already on Pontarelli. Spread out healthy behind. Much more reserved at the start here. Already, though, might see some challenges for the start here. Pontarelli trying to get the low line to work. Top line is available for you, but it's tough to get that to open, especially at this state, at this heat of the racetrack. Now Pontarelli drops that position. Faust in that Miller High Life car working its way down the inside. Derek Booker, Ian Miller, I was expecting those guys to kind of buddy up a little bit more to get to these top three, but not so much. Derek Booker's turned the burner on and left that Mach 5 in the dust. Excuse me, left that McLaren machine in the dust. Gap between the two have closed just a little bit here. It's still very, very reserved further back. Now Bill Molefield tries to work to the inside of, is that Hammond? I believe that's Ian Miles in that V-carb machine. Trying to work its way back. Matthew Faust getting that muscle going early right now. Fastest man on track. Battle further back though. This is outside the top 10, or outside the top 5, excuse me. Back to the front. The one Lucas Oil car of Pontarelli has dropped back once again as these two, you can expect these three to trade positions all night. But Molina and Faust are treating this race like there's 5 to go and we're just 15 laps into this thing. Side by side into 3. Look at Molina running all the way to the line, not giving an inch this early. Big slide! And that's a big, big slide going back up into the wall. Trouble for Matthew Faust and another yellow. Oh my goodness. So already some issues there. He is Matthew Faust. Gets into a big lazy slide. I think he might have dropped that front left on the apron. Let's see if we can get a replay of that though. Got just a smidge of aero wash there from Molina in front. Almost had it saved, and then the apron upset that car again. So lucky the rest of that field didn't get collected though. So back under caution, Faust drops from 3rd to 10th. Ian Fish and Miles have continued to go, by the way. Albeit 2 laps down. Couple of takers here in the pits. Bill Coley working his way back in. Couple of others, though. Erik Richardson, Bill Molefield, Coley as well. A lot of guys up front, though, still have not pitted. Miles still in damage control there in that V-carb machine. So this is making the one stop almost guaranteed if you haven't taken a trip to pit lane. Everybody else, it's almost that feeling of, I have that option now, I might as well go back to the well, not give up track position. But absolutely strong running early on for this young man, Max Molina. Alex Palou livery, Robert Wickens livery behind him. Everybody on the lead lap for now, except Mark Fish, 1 lap down. And of course, John Miles, who had that early incident, is 2 laps down. But again, Lucky Dog is in effect. Still far from over, not even a quarter into this race. Mark Fish into the pits, not sure what for quite yet. We'll see if we can get more info on that for you. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back to it here. Booker has been playing the really, really smart game right now in that 7. He's kind of let the incidents happen around him and has kind of waited for the right time to strike. Maybe we might see himself work his way a little bit more into contention now, as we're starting to see guys not really mellow out yet. No one's really got in that long enough running where they've gotten into a groove. We'll see if we can get it here in this green flag running. But it's all going to come down to what Molina and Pontarelli do. Miller finds himself back in front of Booker. Hammond still looking for an opportunity to strike as well. Back to it. Molina drops the hammer real early there. Gets that American Legion car almost 5 car lengths ahead of Pontarelli. That opens him to pressure, though, from Ian Miller, who's already trying to close the gap. As we ride on board with him now in that chrome McLaren machine. Very much seeing a little bit more composed racing from everybody right now, it seems. That's not to say we couldn't see anybody strike here for position. Pontarelli still staying within half a second of the leader, Molina. But we are starting to see some science experiments. You can see Molina earlier on there running that high line, trying to get rubber in that high groove. Certainly starting to pay off. Pontarelli, though, not giving up too much real estate to him. Booker's backed out. Now this is going to get Greg Hammond an opportunity. He'll try the outside. Not quite enough slipstream, but Booker's helping him out. He's going up to the high line to kind of punch that hole for him. Still just holding it in the middle of the track. DNL's filter car does the switchback now to the low line. Hammond to the bottom, further back. Matthew Faust, DJ Fluck going at it as well. All about who can find the better line, who can carry that ounce of momentum better than the other guy. Back over to Matthew Faust, worked his way up from 10th to 6th already. Had a little bit of pressure further back from DJ Flick. He's already trying to keep him at bay. There's a little bit of a wiggle there. You saw him work his way up to the upper retaining wall there as they go past the start-finish line. So he's wrestling that Miller Lite machine. Oh, trouble further back. Another yellow goes out. Now DJ flicks around. Yellow flag once again. That's going to be a done day for DJ. Manages to return it. Get it going again under his own power, but not sure where we're at actually when it comes to pit repairs. Or fast repairs, excuse me. So in that chaos, Pontarelli actually managed to get him back to the line. So the battle between Lucas Pontarelli and Max Molina, excuse me, timing and scoring just updated. But Pontarelli has absolutely kept that pace up front. At the quarter waypoint here in Kentucky, Molina looking to go for a debut win. Don't have the stat book on me. Not sure how many times we've seen that in the Indy Racing World Series, but we will see. You just saw Rich Miles there, or John Miles, excuse me, on lap himself. For the lucky dog, Mulfield and Coley go to the pits. We see work right now. Beautiful livery for Bill Mulfield there. So the two Bills working their way out of the pits. Erik Richardson back Erik Richardson and everybody back is on fresh-ish rubber. Everybody else is on 26-lap-old Firestones. I don't think the wear on those is too bad. But again, you're getting to weird strategy calls at this point. Do I maybe go to pit lane now and force myself to go in at lap 75 maybe? Or do I try to stretch it out? Lap 27 here. Lights are going out on the pace car. Running through your order right now: Maximus Molina, Lucas Pontarelli, Ian Miller, Derek Booker, Greg Hammond, your top 5, Matthew Faust, Erik Richardson, Bill Mulfield, DJ Flick, Bill Coley II, Mark Fish, and John Miles rounding out 12th. Miles still absolutely in this, especially if we're going to keep getting cautions at this rate. We've already seen Mark Fish work his way back, same with Bill Coley II. The lucky dog absolutely goes a long way here. No double file restarts, so it won't be too hectic. But let's see what Lucas Pontarelli can do here to maybe take a pounce on the lead. Green flag Molina still very early on the loud pedal there. Gets good gapping. Pontarelli might have to deal with Miller behind. Got a 3-car race. Big dive to the inside there. Further back, that's Matthew Faust trying to get by Greg Hammond. Almost trying to make it 3 wide there. Erik Richardson trying the high side. Won't work, though, out of 4. Back past the stripe. Further back, Bill Mulfield, DJ Flick going at it. Almost 3 wide. Richardson really wants this. He's gluing himself to that outside wall. Can't quite make it work. Further up, though, Greg Hammond is not giving a mile here. Hugging the low side. Mulfield looking low, trying to get around. Still almost 3 wide. Richardson playing the patience game, and it's working big time. Still 3 wide almost here. We're a third through. Richardson, a nuclear move, though. Getting that stadium scene machine, the number 13, on the high side and running all the way around. 3 cars in just a couple laps. Did what no other driver dared to do. And further up front, Maxi Molina keeps stacking on that delta. Ian Miller lighting up that pace too, but not quite enough to make anything happen to the leader. So Freight Train further behind. Yellow again. Another issue. It's Greg Hammond this time. Oh, man. Yellow flies again. In pain for Hammond, but an absolute gain for Erik Richardson. Went from 8th to 5th in that corner. Let's see if we can get a replay. On the backstretch. Might be a lap early here. We'll see. Again, almost 3 wide. You can see, though, the benefit of the high side working there for Richardson up front. Guys are running so far apart from each other. There might have been contact there from the V car behind. We'll see. Nope, just gets on the loud pedal again. Interesting. Well, I guess the only lesson here would be if you give Maxime Molina a gap, he's going to hold it. Because Pontarelli has seemingly thrown everything he's been able to at Molina, and there hasn't been a lot in response. Live here with the 66 at Hammond. That might be curtains for the DNS Filters car. Pontarelli running really low on the apron there, not entirely sure why. But again, big benefit here for Ian Miles. Gets that lap, or John Miles keeps getting that lap back. Just one lap now for that Cabela's machine, the 54. Anybody wanting to go to pit row, fuel will not get you home. Tires might. At the level we're doing cautions. We're a third of the way home. Going to step away really quickly. You're watching the Indy Racing World Series on Stadium Scene TV. One third down here for the Bluegrass 150. Jackson Lambros with you as we're watching Maxime Molina work his way back to the front of the field here. Back to green. Pontarelli has not been able to win these restarts at all so far, and he might be under pressure early on here from Ian Miller. Still fanning out further back. Molina leading over 30 laps of this race so far. Wasn't stellar on qualifying, made a really good move at the start of the race and hasn't really looked back ever since. The V-Carb car work its way around further back. I think that was not Bill Coley, but we did watch Mark Fish work his way around the outside there into turn number 4. Now Coley's going to try to fight back, go back to the high side. Get a little bit of aero wash. You can see that wiggle from the blue car of Coley. As these cars just want to go around so much on the exit there of turn 2. Struggling to stick to it. Let the size of this track not fool you. Downforce is ever important when it comes to these cars, especially when you're running north of 200 miles an hour. So these guys are going to need every ounce of pressure from those wings, and getting a car in front of you, yes, it helps with straight line speed, but man, does it take out the grip. It puts just too much strain on these Firestones. Richardson continuing his charge forward on the outside now of Derek Booker. Side by side here down the back straightaway. This will be Booker's first time outside the top four tonight. If Richardson can get this done, we know how comfy Erik's been in the high line. Being real respectful with each other when it comes to real estate here, going a little bit up to the high side there in the 5. Real clean racing from both of these guys all night so far. Now Mark Fish gets it back. He's working on Matt Faust. Oh! Did I just see someone go off? Heard some sliding further back. I'm not sure if there was a slide or a save there, but certainly there were some tires in pain further back. But this battle rages on. Matt Faust versus Mark Fish. Faust running in the top 3, then brought out that second caution. Still continues to go side by side here. God, this is so much like Auto Club. And I love it. I love it. Ooh, trouble for Molina, actually scraped up against the wall exiting too. Might be some suspension damage there for that American Legion car. Miller playing chess here. I'm not sure how important or how much he wants to get by Puncharelli right now. Molina was red hot in pacing these restarts so far, but now this seems to be the longest stint of green we've had, and Puncharelli and Miller are slowly trying to crawl back here. Hasn't been more than 0.6 of a second. On board with Ian Miller. Certainly has the momentum down the front stretch. Doesn't have a lot of places to put it though. Should we say places with grip? He keeps building on it though. Takes a peek to the inside. He's gonna keep digging on it. Might be able to make it work. We'll see. Very gutsy to run right on the gearbox there because of that wash up. We can see that green wall on the outside get closer and closer for Miller. The pace is there. The courage is not quite there yet for Miller. As again, we're still kind of waiting for the right opportunity, shall you say. I think a lot of these guys are assuming this isn't the last yellow we're going to have. So still plenty more chances for a lot of these guys to strike. He might have a really good shot here, though. We'll look to the outside going into turn number 1. Puncharelli responds, going to the outside. Molina scraped the wall there again. Side by side, this might be the chance here for Miller. He has him by the nose. He's not clear yet. Now he just might be. Miller not quite out of the woods yet. Done deal. Gets it on the exit of turn 4. So it's the furthest up Ian Miller has been all night. Really, really good driving there in that McLaren. The high side absolutely works to those who wait, to those who are brave. Puncharelli already going to try digging back, though, on the 48. And there's been a couple mistakes for Molina further up, but this battling has only made that gap larger. Now 0.8 separating them and these two as this scrap is absolutely continuing. Puncharelli and that Lucas oil machine still trying to get his way back into second. Though Erik Richardson, great run up right now. There's a couple more yellows and some well-executed pit stops could absolutely get him up to the front. Back up to the podium battle right now. Pontarelli has decided, I'm going to back out of it. Ian Miller, by the way, is the fastest man on track right now, about 0.2 faster, 0.02, excuse me, faster than Maxi Molina. So it's definitely possible to see that gap close. At the halfway point, if we were running green this whole time, this would be the back end of the fuel window. But give it 2 or 3 more laps. There's a lot of guys here on 53-lap-old Firestones that are waiting to have their one and only. Early pit strat has worked really well for Richardson. It's worked really well for Fish, both running 4th and 6th respectively right now. But not too much going on right now up front. Further back though, battle just at the edge of the top 10. Big wiggle there from Bill Coley II, who's going to dive to the inside, try and get by Molefield. Further back, Faust, who into the pits, tries to find himself in this conversation. Can't really find a spot to put that Miller machine. Side by side, Molefield and Coley. This is some dicey stuff here going on in the backstretch. Now starting to fan out a little bit. Bill Coley leading this pack provisionally. Now Molefield's got the energy. We're going to make it 3 wide here into turn number 1. Smart thinking there from Molto, who backs out early there. Says, I don't want to be a part of this at all. Further back, did we miss something? We did, because Derek Booker has lost that 3rd spot to Erik Richardson. And that is because Maximus Molina has finally worked his way into the pits. Ian Miller leading laps for the first time here at Kentucky. Now the cat and mouse game begins. When am I going to go into the pits? Do I try and stretch this as long as possible? I'm playing a dangerous game here if I'm Ian Miller, because I don't know when a caution could come out and really, really ruin these plans. There's certainly no pressure from behind. Pontarelli almost a 1.5 seconds back. Matthew Faust also working to the pits as well. But a 5-car train further back. Man, Coley running into the outside wall. A lot of these guys scraping that green outside retaining barrier. That comes in really, really fast. Just like all tracks with the tri-oval does. We've seen it at Texas before. It gets narrow. Look at that wiggle there. I believe that was Bill Molefield. Further back. With that outside wall, just like Texas. Going into turn 1, coming out of turn 4. Gets tight really, really quickly. Battle of the Bills continue. Coley and Molefield. Now it's Molefield trying the high line. Here's DJ Fluck. But now John Miles, I believe, is applying pressure there. Yes, he is. Miller and Pontarelli into the pits. Richardson now leads. But great battle right now between John Miles and... trying to figure out who else that is. That's, I want to say... it's Derek Booker. That might not be actually 4 laps. Miles is a couple laps down right now. This is an absolute headache right now for Bill Molefield. Traffic coming out of the pits right now. We're watching John Miles trying to work himself back into contention here. He's doing it the hard way. Further back though, with Bill Molefield, there's 3 different laps of traffic right now on your screen. Erik Richardson has executed this strategy to a T so far. He's going to need one more stop, but it's looking mighty fine right now for the 13th. Big moves further back here. As now Coley just watched Pontarelli work his way back. He's a lap down too. So a lot of these guys still needing to pit. Coley again running up against that wall. Greg Hammond in that DNS car is below all of these guys right now, 2 laps down. He's being a headache for this whole field. It's DJ Fluck behind Bill Coley. We get another bit of netcode there. Richardson now with an insane 3-second gap on Mark Fish. He's going to need to come in about 2-3 laps. Fuel is not going to last much longer for him. Oh, trouble again. One car out. That's just terrible timing for Erik Richardson, who now I still think is going to have no other option but to pit. Oh, heartbreak. A lot of different strategies at play here. Molefield back in the pits. I think he's using his 1 fast repair. Richardson pitted 53 laps ago. That's the very limit of his fuel. Been a couple cautions since then, but if he doesn't pit now, it's going to be a big gamble to see, one, if he can make it to the end with enough yellows. So do you roll the dice, come to pit row, and guarantee a run to the finish, lose that track position to Mark Fish? Or do you gamble it? Richardson playing the safe route. Coley coming in as well. Fluck coming in. This is going to give the lead right back to Maxi Molina. Actually going to unlap the safety car there. I'm not entirely sure if that's Lucky Dog. Remainder of the field won't. We'll have to see how this sorts out. Good stop by Erik Richardson. He'll still hold the lead for the time being. We'll have to wait for this whole order to shuffle through. We'll step away. We'll let you know the order when we get back. Stay with us. Back here at Kentucky, 72 laps of 100 down. Still plenty of action coming your way. Erik Richardson does indeed hold that lead. And how about this? Mark Fish, who started this race with a major crash, brought out the first caution, is now in second place. Bill Coley the second as well. Not a contender at all at the start of this race, but finds himself out front. Still a couple grains of salt you got to take into consideration there. But it's a whole new ballpark. Green flag flies again. Richardson sprawls in to the lead. Fish under fire early here from Coley the third. But Mark Fish has wasted no time. He wants to try and get that lead from Erik Richardson. Tries the inside, runs it back up. No pressure from further behind right now. Bill Coley in his own world right now. Molina on the charge further back, though. He's gotten by DJ Fluck. Let's watch this battle from Molina. Defense to the outside. Fish continuing to attack hard here. Now Fish gonna try the inside. Still side by side here into three. Fish has waited all night for this moment and it's finally came. Can he steal this lead from Richardson? Not yet. Erik Richardson is cracked under all of the pressure possible. Tries a dummy to the outside, goes to the inside into turn number 3. Really digs here. This could be the one that does it. He's cleared him by the wing. He's cleared him by the bumper. Richardson up against the wall, might be damage to the 13. Hunter becomes the hunted. Richardson trying the high side again, keeps going back to the well there. But now Fish leads this race. Some absolutely incredible stuff for that 42 V-Carb driver. Richardson fighting back. I'll give you 3 guesses where he's going to go. He's already trying the outside. Here comes Maximus Molina to the inside. 2 abreast with Bill Coley the second. Ian Miller wants a little bit of the action as well. He's got nowhere to put that chrome McLaren, but he'll do the outside anyway. Thinks smarter of it and backs out. Now we're getting into the witching hour. 20 laps to go. This is where we get Fangs out driving, and Ian Miller tries to get his way to the inside of Bill Coley. Can't quite get it done. Yes, he does. He clears him. So now Ian Miller, who got cycled back from pits, is right back into the top 4. Some amazing stuff here. 20 laps to go. What can Lucas Pontarelli do? He was running up front all night long, got cycled back from pits as well. Tries the inside here. That's Greg Hammond, who's a lap down. Can't quite get it, but further back. 4-way battle for the lead. Expect anything different? Miller looking for a place to go. Almost making it 2x2 here. Fish to the inside of Richardson. Molina gonna try the high side. Can't get it done. That's opened the door though. Ian Miller now tries the low side. He's gotten by for third. To say it's anyone's race here at Kentucky is an absolute understatement. It's not a matter of if you can strike, it's when you can strike. Trouble! Maximus Molina! Spinning like a top, and another caution. Absolute heartbreak for Maximus Molina, who seemed to be a contender all night. Snake finally bit him here on lap 83. Oh, man. You have got to be absolutely heartbroken right now for Maximus Molina. Came into this race as an absolute enigma and showed up wheeling this entire field. Put a second and a half gap on. But might just have to end the day 11th. He's in for service right now. Got a quick toe. So we will see. For those of you watching us, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Kick, we thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us this way. And I can guarantee you we're going to get ourselves a show here to the end. Gonna step away really quickly, hopefully for the last time. Stay with us. Back here for the Bluegrass 150 and what will hopefully be the final caution. Erik Richardson still holding onto that lead in that Showtime Productions machine. Further back, Mark Fish, who's had an absolute stellar comeback in that 42 car. Ian Miller, who's been a contender all night, still looking for his opportunity. And Puntarelli, who's not quite able to outgun any of his adversaries so far, but might just have that opportunity right now. Lights are out on the safety car. We're going to go back to green this time with 15 laps of all-out, fangs-out racing. Your order as they run right now, it's Erik Richardson, who we're looking at right now, Mark Fish, Ian Miller, Lucas Pontarelli, Bill Coley the second, rounding out your top five. After that, defending winner Derek Booker, DJ Fluck, John Miles, Matthew Faust, Bill Mulfield, Maximus Molina, Greg Hammond. Now, everybody's still running, but it's your top 8 that's really in provision right now. Matthew Faust 1 lap down, Molina and Mulfield 2-3 laps down, Hammond 4 laps down. So strategy is no longer a factor. Pits have been done. If you've stopped in the last couple of cycles, you are absolutely going to make it. Richardson and Fish in 14-lap old tires. Miller and Puntarelli behind 23. What can these guys do? Watching it through the starter cam. Cat and mouse game right now. Who's going to jump first?
Green.
Good start by Richardson. Under fire, though, Bill Coley the second as Booker puts that pressure on early. And now Puntarelli puts the pressure on Miller for that last spot of the podium. Bonsai move to the inside further back. Miller's boxed in. This could be a 2-car move. Yes, it is! Lucas Puntarelli, you cannot be real right now. Drives Ian Miller to the high side. And just like that, Fish has gone from second to fourth. Unreal stuff from that Lucas Oil car. Popcorn is out for Richardson, is watching this whole battle from the lead right now in his mirrors. Further back, Bill Coley under fire now. Here's Derek Booker to the low side. The Mach 5 carrying all that momentum. And now John Miles might be able to carry that with him. But Puntarelli still continues to battle right now. It's been Puntarelli and Ian Miller all night. And you can expect it to go all the way to the checkered. Mark Fish has dropped like a stone. And now Bill Coley and Derek Booker are going to fill up his mirrors very quickly. Ian Miller, though, is your fastest man on track. Four-tenths and counting to the leader, Richardson to Miller. Booker closing that gap right now to Mark Fish. Everybody stacked up from fifth back. Last lap, Erik Richardson, 24.8. The scuff adds character, chat. My apologies. We found Ian Miller working his way to the front here. As it is an absolute dogfight to the front. This is what we expected. Miller versus Puntarelli. It's anyone's game, but we have a yellow. Do we have overtime? Is that a thing? Do we do that here? The one time iRacing crashes, chat, I apologize so much when I say I never have that happen. Ugh. I think we might have had another issue for Maximus Molina, but Ian Miller holds onto that lead. I'm not sure if this is going to be a run to the checkered. It could be close. Dare I say we might have a green-white checkered. We missed a big kahuna. Mark Fish is in. Bill Coley II is in. But the dogfight that has been brewing all night between Ian Miller and Lucas Pontarelli has come to fruition. Did we just see that? Ian Miller just lost it on his own there under yellow. Well, tell you what, it looks like there might have been a little bit of netcode there from... That's got to be some kind of netcode there from, I think, Pontarelli. So, when the stream breaks, what do you get? You get overtime. And we shall thank the good people above for that. Again, my absolute thanks to all of you for sticking with us on this Tuesday night. We know you got a lot of choices, not just when it comes to iRacing, when it comes to open wheel racing on this great game and these great leagues. So we thank you for choosing Stadium Scene TV and the Indy Racing World Series. Again, Wednesday Night Thunder. Tomorrow, NASCAR Cup Series is your thing. And if not, we'll run it back again next week at Richmond. So your top 10 as they stand right now: Ian Miller, Erik Richardson, Lucas Pontarelli, Derek Booker, Bill Coley II, John Miles, DJ Flick, Mark Fish, Matthew Faust, Maximus Molina, Bill Molefield, and Greg Hammond. Greg, though, has called it. He's 20 laps down. Bill Molefield, the longest back running in this, I gotta say, beautifully done Molefield cooling car. Got a little bit of that All-American racing sort of look to it. Absolutely love it. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to have 3 laps to sort this out. Ian Miller's wanted the lead all night. Lucas Pontarelli's been looking for it all night. Derek Booker's looking to go back to back. A repeat win from Season 2 in the cards, so eyes on that number 5, the Mach 5, I should say, the number 7 machine. Two laps to settle it. Your guess is as good as ours. Who's going to win? Let's find out. Let's finish this. Back to it. Great start from Ian Miller as he instantly puts a gap on Lucas Pontarelli, as Erik Richardson has no momentum there to get anything done. Miller continues to hold that gap. But Pontarelli goes low. He tries to make something happen, making that racing line as short as possible for that 85 car. Erik Richardson putting the pressure on for second, though. Carries all that momentum. Once again, sticks it to the outside. White flag. Next flag's going to end it. Pontarelli's gotten all the way to the front here of Ian Miller. He might make this happen to the outside. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller. In a show-stunning finish, Ian Miller takes the lead and stays there when it matters. Absolute hats off to Lucas Pontarelli, who was in contention all night, and Erik Richardson with an absolute monster recovery drive. We're going to get some drivers really quick for their opinions, for their thoughts. We'll get the podium for you. Stay with us. This is a great shot to introduce your podium right now. Joined right now by Lucas Pontarelli, Erik Richardson, and Ian Miller. Let's start with your second place finisher, Erik Richardson. Erik, to say that was a comeback drive from the booth feels like an understatement. Walk me through the race from the cockpit on your end.
And maybe get off sequence a little bit, and luckily it paid off to get to the front, and then extremely lucky caution flag allowed that to happen.
We saw some really big confidence with you in the high line tonight. How much do you think that was a factor in getting you to the front of the field as well?
I was definitely comfortable running high line in traffic. I think that's where most of my moves were made, and then once I got into that clean air, getting down to the bottom.
Off to Richmond next week. What are our thoughts going into a very different but somewhat similar kind of environment when it comes to IndyCar?
I think just get out on the track and just try to keep it as clean as possible and see what happens.
Great drive tonight, Erik. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Joined now by Lucas Puntarelli, who was absolutely battling all night in that Robert Wickens-inspired Lucas Oil Chevy. Lucas, I know that there were so many opportunities that maybe we could have seen you up front and it just didn't come tonight. Walk me through the race on your end.
Yeah, this was definitely the one that got away. Started off well, got pole, so I was very happy with that. So that gave me a huge confidence booster going into the race. And then immediately, the strategy, I definitely did intended to not lead for as long as I wanted to, because obviously you're going to be burning a lot of fuel. But I wanted to stay with the leading pack at least. But yeah, being behind a car here is really crazy. It's the dirty air is just insane. So, but luckily after that final pit stop, or the only pit stop during that final stint, that was a fun battle between all of us, and I was happy that at least we're all able to stay close.
We saw some guys lose it out of 2 after getting that aero wash. Was it as bad for you guys as it looked for us in the booth?
I honestly did not struggle with 2 at all. For me, it was really 3 where I struggled with the aero wash. I just couldn't get. I got really close into 3 to the car in front of me, and then coming out of 4, I just couldn't get close enough. I just keep being pushed back. But if I had the setup right, I could have gotten Ian in the end. But congrats to him.
Really good job, Lucas. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Joined now by your race winner in the number 48 Chrome McLaren machine, Ian Miller. You got yourself up front when it mattered. I know you were battling all night with Lucas. Was the pie chart more fun or stressful? What was the bigger piece there?
I'm not an oval racer by background. I was just hoping to represent well and carry good momentum from taking home the championship last season. So I seems like I did that, and whatever tinkering and wizardry I did with the roll bar seems to have worked pretty well for me.
How important are tools when it comes to, I don't want to call it a full drafting track like a Pocono or an Indy, but you're wheeling a lot and you're also trying to get help from others a lot. How important are the tools behind the cockpit in a venue like this?
I think they're relatively important. I didn't make huge changes, but I did change everything at least a little bit. It seemed like the setup as it came out of the box got very understeery very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So dialing in enough that the car could still hook up and go without pushing too hard on while you're in traffic, without letting the rear end absolutely come around and kill you. Well,
Yeah.
when you're running in clean air, and it seems like especially with how the tires would wear, by the time I had clean air, my tires had worn in such a way that the grip was in the rear, so I could kind of just lean on the rear right and carry momentum through.
Well calculated, well planned, extremely well executed. Phenomenal job today, Ian. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That is all for us this week. Join us next week, though, as we head on to Richmond, Virginia for another round of the Indy Racing World Series. Until then, I'm Jackson Lambros saying so long until next time for our race winner, Ian Miller. Good night.